Hello my lovely Flosstube friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tan, the monogamous cross stitcher, cxc.by.tan on Instagram. It's been a while since I've filmed. I've been away for I think about 4 months. I did plan to last film the beginning of October for my, was it the end of October for my October stats? Can't quite remember now, but it was last year. But I'm back. I just basically kept putting it off really, and then when I finally got round to, oh, I'm going to do it now, then my cat Oscar, my beautiful boy, just here, he passed away quite suddenly. Got him to the vets on the Tuesday. He had a blood test. The doctors gave him some loads of different medication. By the Thursday he started going off his legs, and then on the Saturday he died in my arms on the way to the vets. So very unexpected. I didn't expect him to go, so that wasn't great. I'm still quite upset. As you can imagine, he was with me for 14.5 years, so he'd been with me through all the hard things in my life. So yeah, he was my boy, he was my baby, and he was my soul cat, and life isn't the same without him. But one day at a time, I'm getting through it slowly. I have an amazing family, I have amazing friends, and my partner's wonderful, so I can't ask for much better. So I'm really sad he's not here with me, but he's still with me in my heart, and that's the main thing. And I do have lots of lovely little reminders around my room of my boy, so that's nice. So yeah, that's why I've been away for so long. It was just trying to find the strength to film again really, and to try and talk to him without bawling my eyes out. But yeah, so I'm back and I've got a finished parade for you today. So I finished in 2025 31 finishes. That's not bad. It's not as good as my 40 the year before when I did my 40 and 40, but it's pretty good. I'm just gonna have a quick drink before we start. Got a bit of a lump in my throat now, I do apologise. Excuse me. Just had a brief break because I ended up choking on my coffee. Anyway, so, right, back to the finish parade. So I had 31 finishes, and I'm going to put all the info just here, because I do tend to have an info panel, which is a bit easier than talking forever about what the fabric is and what the thread is and all the rest of it. So I will also hold up my picture of my finish here if I haven't got it, if it's been gifted or I've stitched on someone else's. But if I've got it, I will hold it up here. Right then, so the first one was Winter Snowflakes, and this was by, at the time, Idris Studios, but she had a shop rebrand, so she's now Wild Dragon Crafts. So of course I did this info panel at the beginning of the year last year, so I just left it as was. And so far she's only done 2 in the collection, but I absolutely love stitching this one. It was such a joy to stitch. She has got some beautiful patterns, so do definitely check her out. She's also got a free sale going at the moment, a 3-year-long sale. It started in January, and it is, I can't remember what it was called, so I'll pop that along the bottom and you can see. So here's a close-up. sorry none of these are ironed. I literally got back from work yesterday. I was like, right, I need to get this finished parade filmed, and then I'm heading to Rich's tomorrow for our Valentine's weekend. So it's a bit, January's been crazy, to say the least. Right, the next one's quite a bit big, so okay, so my second finish of the year was Carolyn Manning's Northern Lights, and that's this one. So I'll let you have a look at that first before I pop the info panel up. And there's the info panel. I love this one. It's got all of my favourite colours in it. It was such a pleasure to stitch. So I'll definitely stitch more of Carolyn's designs. I'll bring it in now so you can have a closer look. It's just beautiful. Love that one. So that's my second finish of the year. Just moving these out the way as we go. My third finish of the year was by Wild Dragon Crafts again, who was Idris Studios, and this is Summer Flowers. So I decided I wanted to do like a variegated thread for like the different coloured flowers that we get here in the UK, and I think it picked up really quite well. I love that. So I will be looking forward to fully finishing these in some sort of fashion, and put them on display somewhere. Bring it closer. Do excuse my nails, by the way, I haven't had a chance to do them yet, so I will be doing those later today. Isn't it beautiful? Lovely and cheery. Just what we need after all this horrible grey winter. Yeah. Okay, so the next one I finished was Poltergeist Pirates. I did have it to hand to show you, and I was actually going to struggle on. I was going to literally get the frame and be like, there we go, look, it's done. But unfortunately, it's gone to my partner's house and he will be putting it up on the wall. So I do have a picture instead. So here's all the information about it, and if I can fit both on the screen at the same time I will. So that's all the information. It was I really did enjoy stitching it. The only thing I found quite boring after a time was all of the ship was getting a bit boring, the sails were getting a bit boring, but I absolutely loved stitching the skeleton and the moon and all the beautiful bits in Krynic. I'm glad I left all that last because it made a hell of a difference. So I've said to Rich, I said, you need to get like one of those lights that you have over the pictures, the book picture lights, and then you can have it on during the day, or well, at night, and then when you turn it off it'll glow in the dark, because the ghosts were done in the glow in the dark thread. I didn't do the skeleton in the glow in the dark thread, but I did do the parrot, and yeah, I think it looks amazing, and I was really chuffed with the frame I chosen. So it was basically skulls. I don't know if you can see it very well in the picture. I'll try and insert a picture of a close-up of the frame as well. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it was massive. Bigger than my TV. Huge. So that was my first fully finish of the year. Right, my next finish I did was Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage. And I love this one. I decided I wanted to do it purple on purple, and I used my ever favourite threads from Robin and Pirate and Robin. And I love these, absolutely love these. They're such fun stitches, and I do love myself a Quaker now, as you know. So that's that. These are close up. Beautiful. So that will be fully finished. I'm hoping to fully finish that before spring, and then I can display it up here on my shelf when it's springtime. Okay, next up is Spring Pillow by Flossibilities, and I have actually fully finished this one. I think it was on very brief display. Was it on very brief display at the beginning of the year? Possibly, I can't remember. But that is Spring Pillow. And I quite like the idea of using the different colours in each section. I brought a big pack of variegated threads, and I think the brand was Zero from Temu. Just to try, and because I was buying some cheap vinyl to have a play on my Cricut, and I saw them and I thought, oh, I'm going to give this a go, and I absolutely loved how this turned out. Yeah. There's a close up. Love this. So that is all fully finished. So what I did is I just basically laced it on the back and then popped on some magnetic strips, so then it sticks to the frame. And I change it each day. Well, each month, season, not day. Right then. Mine got quite a few fully finishes at the minute, so I won't need my board. So my next fully finish was Summer Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I definitely think I had this on display last year. And this was one of the silks for you in my monthly thread club. I can't remember what the colour is, but it will be on the info panel. And I love it because it reminds me of fruit salad sweets. And Silks for You thread is just such an absolute joy to stitch. I wasn't sure about putting the dates, but I decided I would because it's nice to see when I finish them. But yeah, I love that. There's a close up. And that's finished in exactly the same way, laced at the back with a couple of magnetic strips. And that's that one. Love that one. Right, so the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next 8 finishes were my calendar cats. So I'm just going to grab my calendar down. So I finished January cat, and then I finished February cat, who is currently on display. And then March, and as you can see, March has a little cupcake. This was an added addition because Richie's birthday is in March, and I made it a rainbow case because St. Patrick's Day, of course. And I've got a cat hair on there, and then we've got April. Now I did all the cats a tabby colour because I wanted them to represent my boy. And then we've got May, and as you can see there's a little cupcake there as well, and that was to represent Oscar's birthday. Yeah. And then we've got June, and then July. I went a bit not rogue on this one, but this one's always, she's an American designer, Christy, and I really wanted to make it patriotic for the UK, so I did a mix of all the colours from Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England. So I mixed up all the colours and that's what came out. Pretty happy with that. And then August. So I'd say these were the main thing I was stitching really back last year. I first spotted them, I think it was in June? I can't remember, but then I sort of went back to January and then caught up and then carried on with the rest. So these are going to be displayed. Now I haven't managed to sit this back on yet, but these are going to be displayed in this little calendar. Oh, there we go. I sanded the back and I haven't stuck the thing back on yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it a little bit more and then I'm going to stain it a little bit so it's slightly darker, so it matches the block numbers, and that's how they're going to be displayed each year. So I will pop that back. What's that bit of loose thread there? Oh no, it's okay. Started to panic then, I thought some of my stitches had come out of my cat. There we go. Okay, my next finish then was, this is number 16 and this was my long dog. Resistance is futile. Get the cord for this actually. So this was my very first long dog and I love stitching this one. Some of them I didn't enjoy stitching as much as others. I absolutely love that band there. I love this band here. I love the little bands in between as well, but that was my first one and I loved it. And I think the fabric is just perfect. I mean, it's not as bright as that in real life. It's a little bit darker, but it's just perfect. And I bring you in a bit closer. Go. I do have another long dog on the go at the moment, but I'm focusing on another whip at the moment, so I've not quite got back to that yet. Okay, so my next finish was Autumn on the Square. I started stitching this and then Holly, the cross stitch addict, wanted to join in, and of course I finished way before her, but that's okay. These are a selection of 3. That was the first one. I enjoyed stitching that. It's a nice little stitch and it took about a couple of nights or maybe a full day if you're not doing much. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I'll bring it in closer, I should, shouldn't I? There we go. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Okay, my next finish was Halloween Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I have got a way of how I want to fully finish this, but I've got nowhere to put it at the moment, so I haven't fully finished it. So it's currently sitting folded up in a bag with the others. So it was quite a funny story actually, because I thought I'd finished this and then I was looking at it and I was thinking, why is the 2 random blobs in the top left hand corner? That's really odd. Well, of course Pattern Keeper doesn't give you the back stitch, does it? So I looked back at the picture and I was like, oh, the spiders. So I'd completely forgot to put the back stitch on the spiders and the web. So My finished picture on Instagram is with no spiders, but there is spiders now, as you can see. So there's all the info. I did change it up a little bit because I wanted to do something different. Plus I didn't have the weeks. I think I probably had 1 or 2, but I thought, I've got a monthly thread come of Silks for You. I might as well start using some of them. And same with the dinky dyes, I've got quite a few. So I thought, use them, that's what they're there for. So I love stitching this one. I absolutely love her Quakers. As you can see, I went a bit Quaker mad last year. So yeah, there we go. Look at them. The spiders look really good though, to be fair. That web was hell, to say the least. I'm not a big fan of backstitch, but I did it and it looks good. Okay. The next finish was September Cat. So then, because I was up to date with these, I was going by months. So there is September Cat. I like this one. It's so bright and cheery with the sunflowers and things. Love that. Yeah. People who have seen these in real life were like, oh my God, I can't believe how small they are. They look so big on the screen, but the moment when you hold them up and then when we see them in real life, they're just tiny. I was like, yeah, they're on 40 count, so they're quite diddy. So when I found that calendar and the fit in there, I was absolutely chuffed to bits because that's what I wanted to do. But it took me a while to find that type of calendar, so I was glad. The calendar I originally saw, I think, was on Ditsy Daisy Crafts. And I just loved her finish, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do with mine. And that's when I found that calendar, so it was good. All right then, my next finish. This one is a second Autumn on the Square. I haven't done the third one yet. Spoiler alert. I do love how these turn out. I might, I think Ollie suggested she might put them in a long frame with an aperture, so they're like 3 together. But I'm almost tempted to stitch them again and make them into like biscornues, maybe, because they're the right size and the wood work. Something's about to drop. There we go, saved it. There's a close-up. Love these. Nice little filling patterns. She does also have spring, summer and winter as well, which I probably will do eventually. Okay, my next finish was Aubrieta. Aubrieta was part of a round robin, which 4 of us are doing: me, Amy, Ro and Lizzie. So this, I haven't got it anymore. I have sent it off to Lizzie. No, not Lizzie. I've given it to Amy because she's completing, I think, the last quarter. So this is what it looked like when I finished it. And that's all of the details below. So I'm quite looking forward to getting mine back. I think there's only one section left to be done on mine, and I think Ro is finishing that off, so that's quite exciting. So yes, that's my round robin. Looks good. So I was using the Roxy Floss Co on those, and they were actually lovely to stitch with, so I'm going to look at getting some of them in the future at some point, definitely. Right, my next finish was Autumn Dream. I saw this years and years ago and I absolutely loved it, and I finally picked it up in 2023 when I went to Create Nostalgia in Wales, and I wasn't going to stitch the bird. I was going to put like some added berries there instead, or a leaf or something. And then when I finally stitched it last year, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stitch the bird because, you know, the bird's with it. And I'm glad I did because he is cute. I love him. So this is Autumn Dream by Cottage Garden Samplings. And there's all the info below. Isn't he cute? I'll bring him in. You can have a closer look. Look at him. I love that pumpkin house and all the... It was the colours that attracted me to this. I just absolutely love the colours. Just gorgeous. Look at him. So I was very happy with him. So that was my finish number 22. My next finish was Cat O' Lantern by Luminous Fibre Arts, and this was actually gifted to Richie's mum for her birthday October last year, so I will insert a picture now. This was fully finished. I had a bit of a play on the finish this time. I've seen quite a few people use boards, mostly Kayla and Lauren from Stitching with My Little. They get a lot of like boards from the works, and I thought, oh, I'm going to give that a go. So I made my own cord with some chenille wool, plaited it together and made my own cord, and then I painted the pumpkin. I didn't want the pumpkin too bright to take away from the stitching, so I decided to do it in nice pale colours, courtesy of my lovely nephew, and then padded it out a little bit, laced it at the back and stuck it on. And I'm pretty chuffed with how it turned out. Actually, it turned out really well, so I'm really happy with that. And she loved it. She was gutted because her birthday is the 30th of October, so she could only display it for one more day. And I said to her, I said, well, next year you get to display it for an entire month. And I said, and if you really want to, I said, you can display it all year. I said, it's your house, your rules, you do what you want. So I was very chuffed with that finish. Right, the next finish 24, was my Autumn Quaker by Primrose Cottage. And I am absolutely chuffed to pieces with how this turned out. The thread, the fabric, everything. This has also already been on display for autumn last year. So yeah, there we go. Might add some fully finishes to my to-do list. I'm off work for the next 3 weeks, so I've got a few things I want to do, so I might add some fully finishes to that time off. Close up. Love it. The thread is just absolutely gorgeous, and it was so funny because I was at Floss Friends stitching this, and my friend Leanne saw it and she was like, I need that thread. Where did you get that thread? I said, well, it comes all the way from America. She was like, I'm buying it, I need it. I was like, okay, cool. So I may have enabled a little bit with the thread, but it is gorgeous. So that is my Autumn Quaker. Okay, and my next finishes are October Cat, which I absolutely love, and this has got a little birthday cupcake because my birthday is in October. So when I bring it in close, you'll see it's got my three favourite colours on the cupcake. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. That's better. Purple, blue and green. Love that. So yeah, there we go. My next finish was Wooden Cat. So I I had a lot of birthday haul in October. I went to Create Nostalgia to celebrate another friend's birthday, and I had birthday money, so I went a bit crazy and brought a load of stuff. And my lovely friend Nat got this for my birthday while we were there, and I stitched it up. And I was stitching it at the time that Oscar wasn't very well, so it sort of became a memorial type piece to my boy, so he's constantly on display now. So this was my wooden cat, and how great is that? I mean, it's amazing. So it's stuck into the base there, and I love that. I'll bring him in closer so you can see. Look at that, amazing. I love this. One of my favourite pieces from last year. So he lives up there on my shelf. Okay, my next finish is November Cat, and unfortunately that was the month that I lost my boy, so I did add a little halo to the cat. Not something someone would probably want to remember, but he was my special boy and he'll always be with me, so I had to add something. So there's a close-up. You can see he's done a little halo in gold. Just a little bit of treasure braid that I had left over from my Poltergeist pirates. Okay, my next finish was Night Riders from Love Puppet. I absolutely loved this one. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to stitch it, and can I just say that that moon is no joke. It was the moon that appealed to me in the first place because I love a Quaker, but that moon, wow. So this is the first time you've seen it as a finish, actually, because I started this was also a birthday gift, and the plan was to show it as my haul, but then I ended up starting it and finishing it, so you never actually saw it as a start and a finish unless you're on my Instagram, and you would have seen it on there. But it's amazing. There's all the info below. It's very hard to hold up because it's quite a size, and I'll bring it in closer. Isn't it great? Look at that moon. The moon's amazing. It took me a while to start it, actually, because I didn't want a light fabric. I wanted quite like a moody, dusky, stormy type fabric, and when I found that, I was like, yes, that is perfect. My next finish is, I wanted to stitch this as soon as I saw it. I think Kat from Catkin and Lily was giving it away, and I was like, yeah, I like that. I don't normally stitch like Santa things, but I saw that and I was like, I like that because it looks more wintry, Christmassy. So I decided to do it. And then when I went to Create Nostalgia in the October and I saw how it was displayed, I was like, yes, that's how I want to display it because it looks amazing. So I decided to start stitching it, and then Nicola wanted to join in, so she joined in, and then Esther saw that we were stitching it and asked if she could join in, so there was 3 of us stitching along in December, which was quite nice. And it was quite funny because we all liked the way it was fully finished. So Nicola got my frame for my, well, clock for me, because I couldn't get it in anywhere by me or in Hereford. So she got it for me and it's fully finished. So this is Believe. And how amazing does that look? What an absolute superb finish. It's just amazing. I was just like, wow, that's so good. So it's actually a clock. The clock is behind and it's got like a little handle. I know this is going to fit nicely on my mantelpiece. Sorry about the glare. And that's all the info below. And then I'm going to bring it in closer. I'm not sure if you can see, or you can see the camera and me, but it is like a sparkly thread. It's very hard to see, but it was another thread that I had left over from Poltergeist Pirates, so I decided to use that. But I love that. Chuffed with that. One of my absolute favourite finishes, and that was courtesy of Mary from Great Nostalgia. And my last finish of 2025 was number 31, which was Hello Winter, which was this one. I didn't have it finished in time to well, I suppose I could have displayed it for winter, but that shelf is only small, so I only have, I've missed one somewhere. I'm gonna I've missed finish number 29, so I'll do that next. But this is my finish 31. I decided to make the windows in the house yellow, so it looked more of a cozy cottage in the middle of the woods. I love how that finished. Yeah, really happy with that. And I decided to use the black étoile on the hello, so it does have a slight bit of sparkle as well. Yeah, very happy with that. Right, so my finish that I completely forgot to show you, because it's listed on my list but I missed it somehow, was Winter Quaker by Primrose Cottages. And I forgot about it because it's on display. So this is my Winter Quaker. I absolutely love the colour of this thread. I wasn't keen at first. I thought, I don't know if it's wintry enough because there's quite a bit of like green in there. But I had a lot of compliments on the thread and I'm quite happy I used it because it does look good. And this is just stuck on magnetically, so those other Quakers I showed you from Primrose Cottage will be swapped out on this board, which I think is really unique. It's different. I like it. So that's all the info below as usual, and now I'm going to bring you in close to have a closer look. I love that. And I've done it on a sparkly fabric, which you can't see very well. You've got to love this winter light. It's not the best. So yeah, that was... Should I attempt to put it back up there? No, I'm not going to do that because I know everything's just going to fall. So that was all my finishes for 2025. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finish December Cat last year. I did finish him this year, so that will be in my Flosstube that I'm planning to film at the end of this month. So you're gonna have a lot of content from me in February, so I hope you enjoy that. And yeah, so I will show you the finishes I've done in January, at the end of February. My plans for the year, I didn't have an awful lot of plans. My plans were to spin a wheel. So I've got 3 big whips on the go at the moment. I've got my Latitude from Long Dog. I've got my county flag from Vivsters, and I've also got Hocus Pocus, which I started with Amanda the 1st of October. So I do have 3 big whips, and I don't like having whips, as you all know. So I decided what I was going to do is I was going to spin the wheel each month, and whatever came out I was going to do whatever starts and finishes I wanted to do in that month, and then I was going to, the rest of the month, stitch on that whip completely. So I spun my wheel and my flag came out, so I stitched on that for the remaining of January, and I progressed quite far. I wanted to get to, I think, 30%. So when I picked it up I was on 16%, so I've got to 30% on that at the end of January. Then me being me, decided I didn't want to spin my wheel for February, so the wheel completely went out the window for now, and I've decided to continue stitching on my flag until it's finished. So I am now at 38.4%. So the plan is to either, I want to try and get it finished by the end of March, if I'm honest. It'll probably most likely be April time, but that's what I want to do. And then once I done that, I'll spin my wheel and then work on the next one, I think. The only other plans I've got this year is I started a year-long sale with the lovely Amanda, Nat, Breffney, Ali and Zoe. So there is, I think, 6 of us, that's right, yep. 6 of us stitching the Hello Seasons by Shannon Christie. Shannon Christie. So we started Hello Spring, and 1st of January we did, and I think most of us are finished now. The plan was to get it finished before we started Hello Summer, which is the 1st of April, but I think most of us are finished now, so that's another finish to show you, spoiler alert, for the end of the month. So we're planning to do those throughout the year, and then I don't really have any other solid plans. I did buy quite a bit of stash in October, so maybe work through some of those. I do have the full set of Hello Seasons from Erin Elizabeth as well, so you saw my Hello Winter, so I've got Spring, Summer and Autumn, and I've got some other bits and pieces. So I'm not on a no buy this year, but I'm on a limited buy, so I'll buy if I need it, but if I go to a retreat and I see some fabric I like, or I see a chart that I like, then I will buy it. I do have a lot of holidays planned this year, so I'm trying not to spend too much on stash. So me and my partner Rich are going to Iceland at the end of March for a weekend, so that's going to be cold but very exciting. Hopefully we get to see the Northern Lights, because even though they've been over the UK for how many times, I've still missed them. And I've got obviously a couple of retreats coming up, and I've got a holiday in Ireland in August, and then now I've got a permanent job in Kent by the seaside, so I'm hoping to visit Canterbury. I want to see Dover because I've never been to Dover, and some other places along that side. Maybe even going to London if I feel brave enough, which us Brits do tend to avoid. So yeah, my plans cross-stitch wise are just basically see what I fancy. I do have my list from last year if I don't know what to stitch or what to start. So yeah, that's basically very, very rough plans. And I think that's everything. I'm not sure if you've noticed through this video, but the lovely Joshua from Cross Stitching Cambria has made some amazing merch, and me being the alternative girl that I am, needed this t-shirt. So I don't know if you saw, but move my hair out of the way. The Cross Stitches metal t-shirt, because yes, it is. So I had to get the green because, you know me, I love a bit of green. So yeah, love that, absolutely love that. It's an amazing quality t-shirt, very comfortable. So I will be wearing this for my first retreat in April, I think, you know, because it's got to be done. So I think that's everything. I do have still a lot of haul to show, so I might do that in a separate video, a Flosstube extra of sorts, because I know some people are not massively interested in haul. And spoiler alert, I do have an unboxing coming as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Right, well, thank you all for coming to watch me. If you've stuck around for this long, I've tried to get it done in a decent amount of time. If you're still with me after the 4-month gap, thank you for sticking around. It is appreciated. I have seen I've lost a few subscribers, and you know what, that's fine. Sometimes life happens and you need to take a bit of time off to deal with life, but yeah, I'm doing okay, so that's good. So yeah, thank you all for coming. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and give the channel a big thumbs up. That would be great. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.